with this one too, right? Who's at risk? It can happen to anybody, right? No matter what age, no matter what's going on. And then, of course, the common thing is, oh, I never thought it would happen to me. Please never say never, right? As far as, oh, those scams, I'd never fall for that. You, knock on wood, because you're going to jinx yourself. Remember, my last name is Wood, so I can knock, right? Not just wood up here. But really, just never say never, because you know what? When we get scammed or when things are happening, it's because, the scammer that's calling, they sound legitimate. And trust me, they do, they can sound really good. When our family is helping us, it's all great with our finances. But then, as things progress, I mean, just very quickly, my grandmother, my aunt was taking care of all her finances. Everything was fine. But as my grandmother was getting older and sort of not remembering things, my aunt was having problems with her business and seemingly was taking all of my grandmother's money. And my dad's brother finally found this out, and they had a meeting and said, "What are you doing with mom's money?" Well, she stormed off. "How dare you accuse me of taking mom's money?" The week later, calling in tears saying, "Oh, I was having problems with the business, blah, 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 blah." Like, just complete garbage. And then they told their mother, and she was disappointed with her boys. She has 3 boys and the girl. And then when they showed her the proof, and this is my grandmother at 97 having to go through this is garbage.
So a lot of times people may not be able to come forward, or there's barriers that maybe prevent people, as Bussie was kind of talking about. Sometimes there's issues around language. So we have a lot of older adults that may not speak English fluently, or not knowing where to access resources in their cultural language. That can be a preventative kind of thing. And also not knowing what resources are available. And we know that when people are isolated, the abuse escalates a lot further because they just feel helpless. They don't know where to get help. People with mental health issues also, depression, anxiety, female older women. However, we have a lot of older men that come forward to ask for assistance as well. It's the females, we see more calls or more situations or more vulnerable because we have more women in aging as we do men. The population is different. So I think that's the main reason around that.
Yeah.
And then there's also maybe they've experienced situations as a child. So Bussie was talking about her family being very supportive and caring, but not everybody's had that experience, right? So sometimes we see that as a risk factor. People with addictions, or someone's living with them because of their dependency. And years ago, the thought was, well, it was the older person depending on a younger person because they needed help. We're seeing that shift now in terms of the calls that we get, and we're going to show a video around this. That dependency is now older adult children, may have lost a job, may have been separated, moved back into the area, need a place to stay. Whatever those circumstances is, they've moved back in with the older adult. You have the funds, they may not. This is a good relationship. I can help you, you help me. However, then all the things that we just talked about around financial ends up slowly happening. And it may not be right in your face, right at once. It's the progression slow that happens that you may not even recognize it's happening to you, right? We see that quite often. And deteriorating health is also creates that dependency too. So someone who needs transportation, or they're relying on someone for assistance. In some cases, we see that. And then cognitive impairment. So someone who's got dementia or Alzheimer's. I know we have a speaker this afternoon talking about mental health. But if someone is not capable of making informed decisions, that they don't recognize, they can't understand the bank account, they don't. Like, they can't appreciate how much money, what their house is worth, and that person's a power of attorney and making your financial decisions on their behalf. Who's going to find out? Mums doesn't understand. Mom's not going to ever know. And that goes undetected until someone, neighbor, friend, or family, brings it to someone's attention.